Animation is hard, it just is, but there are some simple and effective techniques to put that extra bit of spice onto your final renders. Adding noise. Let's say, for example, we have a simple animation of a keyboard floating above the water. There's nothing too fancy about this shot, and we want to spice this up by adding some procedural movement to this animation. So with your keyframe selected, in the graph editor, press the N key to open up this side menu and come through to the modifiers tab. Here you can add in this modifier in the drop-down noise, and you can see straight away it's adding all of this procedural noise onto your animation, which is super powerful. Make sure to tinker the settings to something that suits your scene, and to also add the modifier to each transform channel that you want it to affect. An example of where you could use this technique is in a bumpy scene where maybe you need to sell the effect of your character shaking. Another example is here for this keyboard. You can see side by side the before and after, and the world of difference that this makes. Breaking your rig. This technique is one that's going to level up your animation from rookie to pro. It's super simple and doesn't take that long to implement. Essentially, you're creating a shape key to drastically change the profile and silhouette of your character or object. So for example, this lovely animation by Pierrick from the P2 Design Academy uses this technique flawlessly. You can see on the impact frames here, the motion is being sold with the smears and is physically breaking the character rig with shape keys. Shape keys are just a simple deformation of your object, transitioning from the original base mesh to a sculpted pose that you've manually created. There is so much to dive into when it comes to smears and breaking your rig, but the fundamentals are you're basically just creating impact and selling the motion of your animation. So give this technique a try with your next project. It doesn't just have to be with impact shots like a punch or a kick. It can be used for a variety of different shots. So get creative with it. Match cutting. Ah yes, now this might not seem like an animation technique, but this is definitely something that, if done right, will elevate your animation to the next level. In its simplest form, a match cut is a transition from one shot to the next. In animation, we can use this transition to make seamless and more impactful transitions. So a match cut works by having two shots cut between each other. It'll usually be a subject match or a motion match. The subject match is having two similar subjects in two completely different environments. So that's the subject match. The other is the motion match, where the subject drastically changes, but the motion stays the same. So here's an example from an advertisement I made for a keyboard company. The final shot has their logo spinning, and then we have the match cut from the 3D logo to the 2D logo. Very simple, yet highly effective. Now it's time for you to try out these techniques in your own animation. If you liked this video, you'll definitely want to watch this video here, explaining the 5 things you shouldn't do in Blender.